Ever wonder why some action franchises just fade away? We're talking about films with explosive potential, a cool concept, and a leading man perfectly cast for the role. Uh, take Jason Statham's Death Race.
Released in 2008, it delivered exactly what you'd expect. High-octane thrills, brutal car combat, and Statham being, well, Statham.
Uh, but despite a solid performance at the box office, uh, a true sequel never materialized. Uh, the early 2000s were a golden age for Statham. He was carving out a niche as the ultimate no-nonsense action hero, starring in films like Crank and The Transporter. He was experimenting with his on-screen persona, but it was quickly became clear audiences loved him behind the wheel. This made him ideal to take on the role of Jensen Ames in the Death Race remake. Framed for a crime that he didn't commit, Ames is forced to compete in a deadly televised race where cars are weaponized and survival is the only prize and he's tasked with replacing the legendary racer Frankenstein and offered freedom if he wins. And the film was a fun, pulpy ride. And while it wasn't a critical darling, it gained a devoted cult following. And Death Race was originally a Roger Corman production from the 70s, but the remake dropped much of the original's satirical edge. It confined the action to a prison island, but hinted at a much larger dystopian world. It's a world ripe for expansion, and a sequel could really unlock the full potential of the concept. The film did well enough to spawn a series of direct-to-video sequels with Luke Goss taking on the role of Frankenstein. All these follow-ups were enjoyable in their own right. They lacked the scale and impact of a big screen release. They were B movies, and sometimes you just need the A-list treatment. Imagine a legacy sequel nearly 20 years after the original date. An older, more grizzled Frankenstein forced out of retirement to save his now grown daughter. The original concept for Death Race was even more ambitious, envisioning a global race with elaborate transforming vehicles. Tom Cruise was even considered for the lead. It's a hook that practically writes itself. Statham remains a reliable box office draw, and a Death Race sequel would be a perfect fit for his skill set. Would act as a soft reboot, allowing new audiences to jump in without needing prior knowledge to watching Statham race across a post-apocalyptic landscape is a premise that sells itself. Will it happen? Realistically, probably not good. Wait, probably not. The original film wasn't a blockbuster, and the series has largely run its course. But a man can dream, right? I'd much rather see Statham back in this franchise than another Mechanic or Transporter sequel. But after all, who needs a babysitter when you can have a demolition derby? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.